Hi, it's Alex from laughingplace.com. I have something really cool to share with you today. Our friends at Hasbro were very nice to send us an advance on some items that are coming up at San Diego Comic-Con next weekend. So if you're heading out to San Diego Comic-Con, if you're a big Marvel and Hasbro collector, you're going to want to pay attention to these. Now we have two pieces that are going to be released exclusively to San Diego Comic-Con. There is this Marvel 80 Years Incredible Hulk figure, and the exterior of it comes in this white box. So that's part one of what we're going to be doing today. Parts 2 and 3, technically, are this bundle of Marvel's The Collector and Grandmaster. And the packaging is really cool. Obviously, it's the Marvel Legends packaging that we're very familiar with. The black, it does have the kind of Marvel logo on the top, etched there in some shinier material. But these are kind of bound together in this half dome shape rather than the typical rectangular packaging. And there is a Velcro piece here. So you can keep these in the box. You can continue to display them. Gives you some information about the films that they're from, specifically Thor, Ragnarok, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So you could display them like this next to each other. But they sent us these so that we can show you all the ins and outs. So we're going to be unboxing them. We're going to be taking them out of the box if you're heading to the convention or if you're picking them up elsewhere. And they did go out of their way to let us know while these are making their debut at the San Diego Comic-Con and they were created specifically for that event, there will be small quantities that will be released to Hasbro Pulse. So if you're a Hasbro Pulse member, definitely go check that out. If not, definitely go to HasbroPulse.com, subscribe to their email list, and check back frequently to see when these guys go up there, and depending on how many are left, they may also appear at some other fan conventions going on throughout the rest of the year. So San Diego Comic-Con might not be your one and only chance to pick these up, but certainly it's the only place that I know for sure that they're going to be. We're going to start with the Hulk. Now, the Hulk does come in this big white package, and there's a little bit of tape there. I already pre-cut it so that I could take these out of the box and take pictures of the packaging before I ruin it and open them all up. But inside of that is the retro-style character on the card back. And for this Marvel 80th anniversary series that they've been doing, this is how they're coming. So it's kind of a throwback packaging to the way they would have been done back in the, I'm assuming, 70s, that Marvel action figures probably came into prominence, even though the company is celebrating its 80th anniversary this year. Now, this is a 6-inch figure, and obviously he is quite large. He does work in scale with, I think, the 3 3/4 inch figures that go along with this, if I'm not mistaken. But as someone who doesn't specifically collect this line, please forgive me if I just made an error. Now, the back of the box, it does kind of give you more information, and this will retail for $34.99 at the convention. So if you're going and you subscribed and you got that lottery number, you can get in line and pick this one up. There may be a standby line, but I'm not 100% sure. I know usually Hasbro does these things through a lottery system. Now, one of the things I do want to point out is the packaging around here. There's no lip like there normally is, so it's not one where you poke your finger in and pull it back from the packaging. There's a kind of smooth side here. That's where the cardboard was bent, and so you're going to have to peel it open here, I believe, to get in there in order to get him out. So we'll do that real quick. We'll take the figure out, and we'll be right back. I'm going to pause opening it for just a moment. I just want to show you guys what I was able to do. So starting with the bottom with a butter knife, I was able to go around the packaging and make it so that this opens up. So you could, at least in some part, still put it back together and display it like this. If you were going to take it out, display it with the other figures out of a box for a little bit, that is somewhat possible to do. I would probably try and be careful not to completely remove this piece from the backing, so maybe do something like this where it's still a little bit connected, because then you can still get it back in there later if you wanted to preserve that, because that is obviously really cool throwback packaging. That's part of the experience with this figure. And here he is, what was underneath. Now this goes behind it. It's a lead pipe, so we'll pop that out real quick. And so it does have Hulk damage to it, so I'm guessing that fits in his hand pretty easily. It is not hollow all the way through. There is a block in there, but that is cool. We're going to take him out and see if we can get that in his hand. And Marvel Legends figures are so highly articulated that you always want to be careful when you take them out of the package. Sometimes they have pieces that are meant to come off, sometimes they don't. Now, one of the interesting things, kind of right off the back, and I'm noticing it because I'm looking at his back, is his shoulder blades are bendable. So you can pull those back, you can do him in a pose like that, which is really cool. I can't say that I've ever seen an action figure with that level of arm reach towards the back, which is very nice. He is articulated at the waist. He does have that kind of abdomen articulation, so you can bend him around a little bit, not a lot, but certainly there's a lot that you can do. The head can sort of look up, but it is kind of limited in its range of motion because whatever this muscle is called is really big. And then legs, you can turn them in and out. You can bend them at the knee, and then you can bend them at the ankle. They can bend sideways too. Gosh, there's so many ways that you could display this, so many things that you can do to make sure that he is freestanding. And because he is a literal Hulk of an action figure, he probably has the easiest time standing that I've ever seen for an action figure. Now let's see about this lead pipe. Let's try and get that into his hand. His fingers are made of a softer plastic than the rest of him, and so there is a way to get this in. There we go. So that definitely fits in that hand. Takes a little bit of work to get it out. His other hand is in a solid fist. And even though this is inspired by the original look of the comics, and he's definitely that bright gamma green, and the shorts are definitely a deep purple, he does have some really great detailing, particularly the veins on his arm. And those are actually perforated and then painting. There's also veins kind of on the sides of his pectorals. So this is a really well-detailed Hulk figure. If you're a big fan of Hulk, or if you collect the comic look for the Marvel Legends line, this is definitely one that you're going to want to pick up, whether you're going to San Diego Comic-Con or paying really close attention to what shows up on Hasbro Pulse. Moving on, we're next going to look at the Collector and Grandmaster. We'll take them out of the packaging, but before we do that, kind of a closer look, let me do it like this just so we can see in a little bit better. So the Grandmaster comes with this big kind of bubble accessory on the floor in there, which is really cool. And then the Collector has the little orb that held, gosh, which stone was that? It's been so long since I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. It had one of the Infinity Stones inside. It was the orb that came with the Phase 2 Blu-ray box set, if you got that. He does include an extra head with his glasses on. And then at the back end, it looks like we have, I don't know if that's just cardboard for display, but that's Cosmo, I think is the dog's name, in the crate, kind of like from the attraction at California Adventure, Mission Breakout. So we're going to take both of these guys out of the package very carefully. Now, because they are Marvel Legends figures, these boxes should be very easy to preserve, but the one thing that's different is because it's rounded, opening these tops is going to take a little more care than usually just cutting the one piece of tape and lifting over the flap. So I'll be back in just a moment with these. And here they are. It was very easy to actually get them out of the box. You just had to be a little careful. Don't be in a rush. Now I'm going to start with the Grandmaster, who is really spectacular. Obviously that looks a lot like Jeff Goldblum. Hasbro's facial sculpt technology has improved so much just in the past couple of years. I've been visiting them at Toy Fair, and they always talk about their process for capturing the likeness of the live-action actors of these characters, and it's really fascinating stuff. Now, the detail on this, I don't know if you can see it, he has blue nail polish on. Now, it's not super detailed where it's like completely in the cuticle, but it is really close. You'd have to look really closely to see where it is a little bit sloppy on the fingertips. But then even just the detailing, the makeup that he has right here, kind of the blue soul patch, is really cool. Now, this outer garment, it is a softer rubber. But what's nice about it is the way it folds in the back really creates a base for him, so it's very easy to kind of stand him up without much effort. I can't say the same thing for the Collector. And then he is wearing sandals with blue toenails there as well. Obviously all of the same points of articulation that you usually get from a Marvel Legends figure. And just the detailing is really well done. The texturing on the soft goods makes it look like fabric at first glance, so it's really not until you touch it and feel it that you realize that it's not. And the blue bubbles, I realized what it was once they started to take him out. So this is that electro-shocky weapon that he uses in Thor Ragnarok. And when he touches people with it, they turn into something that looks very much like this. So you just set that next to him, and there you go. Almost lost the collector. Now the collector doesn't have anything to keep him up, and he's got that fresh out-of-the-box stiffness, so it was a little hard to get him to stand up to begin with. But really well-made character. He's obviously a very eccentric, fashionable person, so his left sleeve is very different from his right sleeve. I can't talk. The cape here, it is a rubbery piece, and that does have that peg in the back, so you can remove that if needed. Now the little orb that he comes with, first of all, flies right out of the package, so be very careful not to lose that because it's super tiny. I was hoping it would fit in his hand a little bit better. You're able to kind of balance it if you put it in the right way, but that is very, very, very easy to fall out. So if you live in California like I do, a mild earthquake will probably unseat that if you were putting this on display in a shelf like that. And then he does come with that second head, has his kind of collector vision goggles on. You just pop the old head off, pop the new one on. Couldn't be easier. So I really do love that versatility that Hasbro gives us with the Marvel Legends series. I mentioned I don't collect the comic characters, I do collect the live action ones. So I was really excited to Hasbro, and thank you again, Hasbro friends, for sending us this for review. If you want to see a full written review with close-up photos, be sure to head over to laughingplace.com. That post will be up soon. And if you're heading to San Diego Comic-Con, be sure to check out Hasbro at booth number 3329. Again, go to Hasbro Pulse, sign up for their mailing list if you want to be notified of other releases and event exclusives, and it's the only way to buy these products direct from Hasbro without having to deal with a third party, which is really neat. They do have some Star Wars stuff coming to the convention as well, which is really exciting. So thank you again, Hasbro. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye.